Hey everyone, welcome to Plaid's live today with Gallery Glass. I know this week we are overwhelming and hopefully exciting everybody with lots of different Gallery Glass stuff. And I'm still all excited because I hope a lot of you joined us yesterday when we had the best Facebook Live. We had Carol Smith, who is the original creator, artist, extraordinaire for Gallery Glass. So anyone that didn't see that, go back on our Plaid Facebook page and watch that. It's recorded and it was so fun and so fabulous. And that woman gave us tips and techniques and ideas, even ones that I was so excited to learn and relearn. So she is just an expert in knowledge. So today we are live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and we are going to teach you about Gallery Glass clings, which is a fun way to create almost like a sticker. That you make, that's only product, no plastic, no glass, and then you use this to upcycle really fun glass surfaces. So we've got Stephen in the studio, and he will answer any questions, any comments, anything that I'm working on. He'll relay the questions back to me. So put that in the chat and he'll get back to you guys.
Absolutely.
Okay, there he is. So with that said, just a quick introduction. We've got lots of new people. Every time we go on, we've got lots of people that are new to Gallery Glass. So Gallery Glass was a Plaid product a long, long time ago, maybe 25 plus years, and it was one of our favorite product lines, and we've had it ever since. But this past year, we redid the entire line. So we have new patterns and new colors and new tools and new accessories, and we have so much fun stuff. The best way to see all of the great things that we have is go to plaidonline.com/galleryglass, and you guys can learn absolutely everything there is to know about Gallery Glass. One thing I also want to say before we get started on the fun cling project is on plaidonline.com/galleryglass. If you go to that, we have done, and we've never done this for Gallery Glass before, or really for any of our products at this level. We have done a getting started guide. Actually, I'm going to show that on the overhead camera. This is on the website. It is free. You can download it. You can reference it. You can print it. It's basically everything you could ever imagine about Gallery Glass. You guys, it's so big it has an index. It's got project ideas, it's got why we have each tool, how you prep your surface. I mean, it's got everything if you're doing home decor and large privacy windows, how to make the pattern fit. It's got a sample pattern for those of you that are practicing leading for the first time. It's just loaded. It's loaded with everything that you would need to get started with Gallery Glass.
And where can people find this, Kirsten?
So Stephen, this is, go to plaidonline.com/galleryglass, and this is the getting started guide. And again, you can reference it, you can print it. It is just a huge place for all the tips and techniques that you need to learn Gallery Glass. Okay, so with that said, today we are focusing on clings. And what a cling is, I guess, is Plaid's way, our word for describing a technique. So the technique is the same 1-2 of Gallery Glass. The reason Gallery Glass is so exciting, let me show you guys a project. For those that are new, it is a paint that makes the exact look of stained glass window or stained glass projects. You can get all the colors, you get the dimension. I hope you guys can see that. I'll put my hand back there.
Yeah, I'm going to zoom in a little bit too.
Oh, you want me to do it that way, Stephen?
No, go the other way.
Go the other way.
There we go.
Okay. But it looks exactly like stained glass. You can hang it in your window. You can do it directly on your window. Any glass surface, it works on plexiglass. It's just a great way to get a really authentic stained glass look using paint. And it's 2 easy steps. First, you do the lead, which applies the pattern, and then you color it in. So lead and color in, which makes it perfect for beginners, for kids, for so many levels of crafters. So our cling, which is what we're doing today, is doing those 2 steps on a plain piece of glass. So if you have an old frame, you could take the glass out. If you've got just a big frame and you want to keep the frame on it for safety and just use the glass, that's the key to making a cling. So the first thing you do is you make sure your glass is clean, and just soap and water or Windex and water, but then dry it really good. So the first supply that you need is glass, and not plexi and not plastic. That is in a lot of frames that you see now, but make sure that you have glass. No special kind of glass.
We're going for the real deal here.
Real deal, Stephen. We want glass. Because the secret of making a cling is, I'm going to skip ahead, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So this is a piece of glass. I'm going to show you guys. So all this is leaded. You can see it's dry, it's dimensional, and then I colored it in, dried and ready to be crafted with. So once it's dry, we call that a cling. And a cling, honestly, is so much fun because look, you pull it off your glass, and then all this is the leading and the paint. The way they work together makes it one piece that is very flexible, but yet very durable, still translucent. Not sure if you guys can see that on the overhead camera. Let's see if we can get some, oh, there we go.
There we go.
We got some light through that. So it's like a giant stained glass sticker. And the great thing about this is it's easy and fun to do on a flat surface, but now it's a cling, so you can move it to any 3D surface, whether it be a vase or a sconce, or this is a cute little, I guess you would put a cupcake under that, or you could put a little succulent under that. But things that would traditionally be a little bit challenging, maybe because of the curve, maybe because of the size of the project, it's harder to handle and do the painting and the lead on it. Now it's super easy because you've made a cling, and then all you do with whatever your surface is you stick that on there. Look, that's the magic. I love it so much. You stick that on there, and it is permanent. And it is, I got to say that again, I got to explain. So gallery glass, one of the greatest things about gallery glass is it is permanent until you don't want it to be, and then it is completely removable. So this is permanent. It won't slip off. It won't come off. It won't become not sticky in a week, a year. It'll stay on there permanently. But if you change your decor or you change your color palette, you can simply just get it started, and then you can lift that off. And all of our gallery glass paints, all of our colors, all of our leading is exactly like that. It is permanent until you don't want it anymore, and then it's completely removable. Steven's got a question.
Yeah, we have a question from somebody, Susie. She asked, "What is lead?" That is a great question, Susie.
Lead is the part one of the two-part process that makes everything gorgeous like gallery glass. So liquid lead is what we call it in gallery glass, and we have got, because it's really the main part of the program, what allows you to create a pattern. We have 2 ounce and 8 ounce, and what lead is it is a dimensional formula that creates and mimics almost the soldered lines, or what would be soldered metal in traditional stained glass. It's going to be hard to show you guys, but it actually is dimensional. What if I do that? Maybe. Look at that, Stephen.
Yeah, there's some depth there. You
A
can see
little
it's kind
bit.
of raised off of the glass just a
But
little
you can
bit.
hear it. So what it does is it squeezes out just like a paint, and I'll show you guys that in a minute, but then it dries dimensional. And it is the first step in all of gallery glass, and it is how you create your pattern. Okay, one more thing I want to show you guys before we get started on our clings. So in the gallery glass line, we have tons of patterns. We've got pattern packs that come in all different styles. We've got floral and architecture, and you get 17 beautiful designs. They're large. You can unfold them, use them again and again. We've got those available. But then we also have on what I mentioned earlier, plaidonline.com, and then /gallery glass. We've got free downloadable patterns. And the greatest thing about those is, let me show you guys really quick. So go to the website, and we just have so many. We have hundreds of free downloadable patterns. So look through that library, find the design that you like best. We've got florals, we've got fun, whimsical designs, butterflies and birds, great for kids. We've got fun architectural stuff that you could maybe do in your home or in your side lights. But for the beginner, the neat thing about this is with each pattern, you have got a key. And so what the key does, or the color palette, is it makes each pattern almost like a color by number. So if you want to color it exactly like the color palette recommends, you simply follow the number just like you would paint by number. The name, the item number, where to place the paint. But always remember, all of this is always a suggestion. And if you want to just have fun and do your own color palette, absolutely. But all of these free downloadable patterns are available on plaidonline.com/galleryglass.
So,
okay.
Kirsten, I have another question for you.
Okay.
So let's say you made a cling on a piece of glass like
Okay.
you have in front of you.
Okay.
If you decided to put that cling on a window, would the sun fade the colors?
That is a great question, and not because I'm not going to answer it, because I am going to answer it, but go back and watch yesterday's Facebook Live for all of those tips and techniques, because the way Carol Smith, the creator of Gallery Glass, described it was fabulous. But the short answer is no. We have worked on the formula. The colors are so vibrant and so beautiful. Like the reds are really, really bright. And what did Carol say? She had the best word. Maybe after years, the color will soften and barely soften, just like maybe your favorite pair of denim blue jeans, but not fade, and you won't lose how beautiful and vibrant the colors are.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to make a cling. I've talked too much, and the fun is in the crafting. So what I did first, you guys, is I went on to the website and I decided that this beautiful floral garden rose is my favorite downloadable pattern. How could it not be? Look how beautiful that is. And then I found a piece of plain glass, washed it and made sure it was dry. And then you just place it. It's that simple. You don't have to transfer. You're not doing anything hard to create a pattern. You simply place that glass over your pattern. Now, when I do clings, you can do this whole element. You can do each flower individually and then kind of scoot it. So you've got individual flowers, like what we had here. Just kind of decide how big of a cling that you want, and then determine if you break the flowers apart or just do one. But the key to the cling is don't get excited and start letting, and don't do all of these connection lines that create the really pretty stained glass background, because you don't need those for a cling. So to use the liquid lead, there's a couple ways to use it. Some people like thin lead lines, some people like thicker. The writer tip on the new Gallery Glass bottle is fabulous, and it will give you a really fine line. What I like to do, actually I'm going to show you guys both. So right out of the bottle, I hope you guys can see that, you get a really fine line. I'm not following a pattern, I'm just showing you how fine that line is. Especially for the clings, but also for my preference, I like a little bit thicker line. So all I do is I take a pair of scissors, and there's a tiny little line, maybe 1/8 of an inch. What if I hold that up? It might, oh, you can see it. There's a little line at the tip of your bottle, and it's about 1/8 of an inch below the top. And I just cut that off. And what that does is it just thickens your line just a little bit. See the difference? It's just barely thicker, but for me, that's the preference I like for clings. Okay, so when you're doing liquid lead, the only key is you start on the glass. You put the tip on the glass, but that's the only time you ever touch down on the glass. Stephen, I'm going to be wild and crazy and see if I can do this.
I have faith in you.
Do you think that's risky?
I think you got it.
Be forgiving, everybody, because I'm holding it up so it's closer to the camera. Okay, so you touch down on the glass, but you guys, just for a second to get that lead to come out. And then the key to beautiful lead lines, I don't know if I can talk, hold, and lead.
You're doing it.
Is to stay elevated above the glass and let that lead almost drape onto the pattern. Woo! Look at that. I can't tell if it's working. Can you guys see it, or my hand's in the way anyway?
I think you got it.
I don't think
we
I
could,
can
we
do it.
could see it.
I don't think I can do it at an angle.
Here, why don't you lower it down and I'll zoom in on you.
All right, let's try that.
Okay.
And you know what? Maybe I'll do it at a little bit of an angle. Okay, so don't ever do it at an angle, but I want you guys to be able to see. So you just touch the glass just to start your lead line. And then the key to beautiful lead lines is you let the lead fall onto the surface. Are you guys able to see that with me holding the glass up? Maybe not.
I think we can. I think we got the idea. You don't have it touching the glass.
Yep, I'm gonna do one more and let's see if this works. I'm gonna hold my hand way out here. So you guys watch. You touch down, but then you're elevated. I like to be a little bit high, almost a half an inch. Some people are an eighth of an inch, but the main thing is you don't want to be dragging the tip on the glass, because what happens is you don't get the right thickness and you don't get that rounded top, so it's not dimensional to then hold the paint. Let it drape and just follow the pattern. I don't know why when I lead I slow down my talking.
Concentration.
Right? Or I can't do two things at once. But you just let it fall, following your pattern. And the greatest thing, you guys, about gallery glass, let's say you practice and you totally messed up and you hate your lead lines. Let it dry and they come right off, and then you can do it again and again and again. So maybe the first time you're doing the lead lines, just go into it knowing that you're just practicing. But see how I'm never dragging on the glass? The tip of the bottle is never touching the glass. You're starting and stopping, bumping into the line that you did before, because you don't want any gaps. You want everything to be continuous. All of the lead lines have to touch. You don't want any gaps or openings, because what that will create is a problem when you remove it off the glass, because you'll have a part that's not connected. But that is how you lead. So you would just do, again, if your surface is big, you would combine those two flowers. If your surface is a little bit smaller, you could do one flower separate from the other one. But you can create a cling with any of our designs, and you can use the cling for a window, for a door, for a side light, or for these great dimensional 3D projects.
So you can use a cling on pretty much any glass surface.
Any glass. And you can use a cling on a plastic surface. After time, though, the gallery glass does not remove off of plastic. It removes off of glass forever, but on plastic, sometimes it just cures on there so much that it's harder to remove.
So it remains on glass forever, but plexiglass, it'll fuse to it and
Correct.
not be able to come off?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What about a metal surface?
Oh, I love
We
when
had
we
a
get
question
tricked.
about that. I don't know if we've ever tried
Wait,
that.
I'm fascinated with that question.
I would imagine that it sticks with time, but it might have the same result as sticking it to plastic or plexiglass. Like it'll fuse to it after a while, and you
I
won't be
don't
able
know.
to. You won't be able to take it off, maybe. We've
Or
never-
the opposite. Who
knows?
is that? We love that
That was
question.
Mary who asked that question.
Mary, that's a fascinating question. I guess we've never done it, because the exciting part of it is that you can see through it, but it would be a really neat, unique look on a opaque surface
I'm sure
like
it
metal.
would stick for a
I think it
time.
would stick.
It's just, would you be able to take it back
I don't
off?
know.
I don't know.
I hate that, but you've tricked us.
Mary, try it and then take a picture, share it with us, #PlaidCrafts, and let us know
That-
the results.
That is a great suggestion, because I'm so curious.
Yeah, we'd love to see that.
Excuse me. So, gosh, I got stumped. That's a great question. Okay, so once you have created your lead lines, completely dry, and we say dry overnight. Maybe it's humid or raining, or your house is warmer or colder, but the top will dry first, so you might think it's dry, but for the paint application, you want to make sure it's completely dry. So we always say dry overnight. Okay, so once it's dry, you can see I did individual flowers, and then on this one, I just happened to put the flowers together. So it's a larger design and then 3 smaller flowers. All right, so in the gallery glass line, we have so many beautiful colors, and I am doing a different palette than what is on the color grid on the downloadable pattern, and just because I really wanted a really vintage, almost Victorian rose palette. So I'm using Holiday Berry, Peach Tea, mostly Kelly Green, but a little bit of Lime Green, and then Clear. Clear is a fun technique that I'll show you guys at the end. So filling in a cling is as simple as using the gallery glass paint exactly how the label and the instructions say. Fill in your area with color, and the key to this is make sure that every lead line has paint that bumps up directly to it. You don't want to leave any little gaps, even if they're really small, between the lead and the paint. Because then what happens when you pull it off as a cling, it won't be very strong where there is an opening. So using the tip on the paint bottle, what I do is I fill it almost all the way. You don't want to overfill it, but you definitely don't want to worry about getting the gallery glass paint on your lead. A lot of times, Stephen, we get questions. Oh, I've got paint on my lead and it looks messy. How do I clean that up? You guys, the greatest thing is, so look at it dry. Because the paint dries transparent, it doesn't matter that it's on your lead because the lead is opaque and it will stay black once that paint dries. So that is a fabulous thing to consider. Don't spend hours cleaning up your lead lines.
Yeah, we're not worried about painting over the lines.
Not
Right.
at all. And then I'm using the second color, which is peach. Again, just getting paint into those areas. Nothing specific, but just filling it, knowing I can always go back and add more paint. And then, oh, a little bit down here. And then we have a toolkit, and the greatest tool in the toolkit, let me show you guys the toolkit. These are all the tools that you need for gallery glass, which is kind of exciting because lots of crafts you need hundreds of brushes and 20 different things. This really can do all the techniques. So you have the combing tool, which is the silver metal pick that's in the kit, and then you use that to blend, to comb, and to flatten out your colors and to spread and make sure that they're filling in all of your leaded areas. But you can see I'm not really overthinking where the pink and the peach blend because the beauty of real stained glass is the way it dries. I'm keeping this guy here so you guys can see. And this is shocking to anybody that is new to gallery glass. This and this is the exact same color palette. This will turn into this. When you apply the paint, it's always opaque, and then as it dries, it becomes that beautiful, transparent, translucent, vibrant color. But all I'm doing is going back and forth, combing the colors together, blend them a lot if you want a softer line. I like to blend them just where they meet because I love the way the traditional stained glass window looks, where the glass is just fused with all of that detail. So you just fill in all of your leaded areas. You don't want to leave any of them open because, again, when you remove it as a cling, any areas that don't have paint will kind of tear apart and just become really weak. The paint is what keeps all of those lead lines together. You comb and blend, add color if you need it. So this is going to be that beautiful peach and that beautiful red. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the leaves. I'm going to use mostly this Kelly green. I'm applying color with the bottle, but then I'll flatten it and comb it and get it perfect using the tools. If you're doing a really, really big area or a giant sheet of glass of clings, I do say do a little section at a time. Don't put green in the entire sheet and then go back and comb it, because you don't want it to start to dry, because then what you'll do is you'll create almost bumps from stirring around or combing around paint that's just a little bit dry. So you always want to work in a reasonable area. Like you could do 2 flowers at the same time, but you wouldn't want to do 7. Because again, as you apply it to your lead areas, it might start drying just a little bit, and then when you comb it, it won't be as smooth. You want to comb it right away and right out of the bottle. But see how combing it with the metal combing tool blends colors, but even if you're using one color, you still want to comb it because it flattens it down, it makes it smooth, and it also guarantees that all those areas where the lead and the paint meet are covered with paint. Okay, so you guys, this is, Stephen, I love to look at this. That and that will dry exactly the same. It's kind of unbelievable, huh?
It's crazy.
But it comes out opaque, and then it dries completely translucent and just beautiful. Okay, so step 1 is lead, let that dry. Step 2 is apply your colors, let that dry. And again, overnight. We always say overnight just because it's safe. If you remove this and your paint is a little bit wet, you'll have to start over. So then, once your cling is ready, you remove that cling, and then you attach it to whatever surface you want to do. So we did, this is really, really cute. We love this, that we did this in the design studio. So it's gonna be kind of hard to handle. But we found at Goodwill, old, I guess, sconces. Is that what they're called, Stephen? I don't even know.
I don't even know, just like decorative glass
Yeah,
pieces. Yeah.
like they go over the light bulb in maybe a bathroom vanity, or maybe at one time they sat like that in a candle holder. I don't know. But they were $1 each at Goodwill. So we added this bead rope that you can find at all the craft stores. And then we put our clings on there. And then this is going to hang in a sunroom inside. So gallery glass is for decorative purposes only. If you're doing your front door, or you're doing your bathroom window, or you're doing any accessories, it's for indoor use only. So if you're doing your window, do the inside of the window, not the outside. But then you add your cling, you press that down, make sure it's attached really good to your surface, and then the fun and the final step with gallery glass, you can do this technique with any color, but I think we have a love for the clear. Most of the projects that I like to do, I love to complete with clear. And let me see, I think if I hold that up.
Yeah,
yes.
We can definitely see that.
So you can see the red and the green I combed like I taught you guys, but the clear, I do a different technique that I'm about to show you. And all that does is complete the look and make it look like a stained glass surface. So to get that beveled, textured, clear glass look, all you do, apply your cling, press it down, and then using the crystal clear right out of the bottle, you start anywhere on your project, and the key to this is you go right up to your lead lines, just like we did before.
And again, if you get it on the lead lines, it's going to dry clear. You don't have to worry about
Nope.
wiping it off or anything.
Nope, doesn't matter at all, because it'll dry clear and your lead lines will be back black and beautiful. So you go around your design or your cling, and then you don't want to go back and forth. You don't want to go in too consistent of a circle, because you don't want to create a pattern. So I always say just scribble. So you're squeezing paint out, not too much, but you're just scribbling in a really loose, random pattern. And to get more texture or less texture is how much paint you apply. So I like to leave a few areas that actually aren't covered at all, where that's the glass coming through. Because when that dries, the more scribble pattern you have and a little bit of glass coming through, that's what gives you that really beautiful texture. So you just fill in all of your areas, all the way around your cling, all the way to the edge with that same technique. Not squeezing out too much paint, being really random and just covering all of those areas. And that, just like the other colors, they go on opaque, but when that dries, it'll be translucent and it will look exactly like this larger glass surface. And then
Nice.
you've got a beautiful, you've almost got a bell or a wind chime, or just, well, not wind, it can't go outside, but just a really pretty accent that you could hang in a window and have a really beautiful stained glass project.
Kirsten, that piece in your hand in particular, I can kind of see there's like these straight lines that kind of make this checkered pattern.
Right.
Did you also do that with the clear?
Nope, I didn't do that with the clear. What that is, which is nice, huh? Someone else noticed that. The surface, I wish I could get, I don't think I can show
That's
you
a part
guys.
of the glass
That
itself.
was on the glass and how we found it at the Goodwill.
Very
So
cool.
it just had just around the center, just banded. Here's a good spot where you guys can see it. Just, maybe if I put my hand in there. Nope, you can't see it very good.
We can see it
Oh,
like that,
maybe right
for
there.
sure.
It just had a little banded, almost texture around it when I found it at the Goodwill, which kind of accents it, so it's not bad that it's on there. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be perfectly smooth
Yeah,
glass.
that's what I was just about to say. It just goes to show that you don't need super smooth glass all the
Yep.
time. If you have textured glass that's just got this little
Yep.
accents to it,
Perfect.
gallery glass will still work with that.
Because you know it would be fun. You could use your spaghetti jar and your mason jars, and you could get a little character by, what's on the jar. But that would be a great way to make cute little vases or give them as gifts with flowers in them. So that would have a little texture, but that'd be a fun way to do gallery glass and upcycle. So no, you can do it on a little bit of texture, even upcycled containers from the grocery store.
So we had a question from Carol. She wanted to know the name of that color that you used on your sample just now, that red, or that sort of lilac 2 red color.
So this is Holiday Berry, which is a really pretty, I guess, more burgundy red, and then Peach Tea, which is my favorite peach. We have a darker peach, which is beautiful, but this is such a soft, beautiful color. So those are the 2 colors that we used for this particular project.
Awesome. And she also asked, how long does lead have to dry before all the color can be applied? We usually
Okay.
say overnight. Right?
Yep, we definitely, Steven's right. We say overnight, and again, just so that it's for sure dry, because once you do the leading, you don't want to move it around and find out it's not completely dry.
Yeah, you
So
definitely-
overnight is
definitely
safe.
don't want to rush it.
Correct. Overnight is safe. Any more
Alright.
questions?
I think that's it.
Okay, well, you guys, thanks so much for joining us, creating clings with gallery glass. I think we have more gallery glass tomorrow. I think Chris is here maybe at 3. I don't know.
That sounds about right, yeah.
I think 3 tomorrow, and more tips and techniques. We're just overwhelming everybody with gallery glass because we're super excited. So go to plaidonline.com/gallery glass. Learn everything about gallery glass patterns, tips, techniques, and thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys